All right, we're recording, guys. We're live and ready to go. So let me give you a little bit of a snapshot of how and why this webinar has been put together and what it's going to look like moving forward. Most of you, I think, know who I am. My name's Brandon Cunningham. We are in the Florida area, Bradenton, Ellington area, and have been with LifeVantage now 7 years, Master Pro 10s in the company, and with very much unfinished business. If you're new to the business, you probably might know what Master Pro 10 is now. It used to be, I guess, what we thought was the finish line. Truly, once I hit Pro 10, I knew it wasn't the finish line. It was just a number. Super pumped that they've got some new ranks out there for us to go out and run for. But through the course of time, as a lot of you guys know, we've learned a lot about network marketing. And we came into this with zero experience as network marketers. And that was a compelling story for a while, you know, that we reached the top rank in this company with never doing network marketing before. And that's not the case anymore, right? I've been in network marketing a lot longer now than most people have been in network marketing. And we have been fortunate enough to get to a very high rank in this company. And we see things differently than we saw things just a year ago or 2 years ago. And I don't know about you guys, but just doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting the same results is insanity, right? And so times are changing. And as times change, we need to get better. We need to be able to be flexible. And I felt that, as well as the leaders on this team, felt that it would be beneficial that we elevate our game a little bit and going into 2017. Not a little bit, a lot. I'm going to tell you guys right now that there will be massive growth in this organization in 2017 because you and me and the leaders are going to make it happen. It's up to us. It really, truly is up to us. And this webinar is going to be a monthly format for now. We're going to do it the first week of every month, probably a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, according to my travel schedule and when that webinar is going to take place. But it's going to be a webinar, if I can just set the table for you, that is going to educate, it's going to inspire, it's going to teach the basics for our new people, as well as give strategies for the month. It's going to be kind of like a board meeting, but for all of us as a team, because truly we all function as a team. Why have the conversation with just, you know, Fred and I, or my wife and I, or just the elites? Why not have the conversation with all of you? And I have been preparing and will continue to prepare in the future these webinars well in advance so that there's many participants on the webinar, that we feel the need for all the people in our organization to be able to get some benefit from this time together. So I just wanted you to know what to expect. You know, I got to attend the Eric Worre event in Vegas, as well as a lot of you did. And there were a few things that stood out to me. And I had these things going in my mind prior to that event in Vegas. But there was something said, and the statement was, marry the process. Marry, right? Marry the process, divorce the results. Well, I know what they mean by divorce the results. It's hard for me to do that, right? Because I'm not happy unless we're growing. Period. I have to be getting better. That's the only way I'm happy or settled, right? And so what's important there, though, is not the results. Of course, the results are important. Let's not be foolish. But the important thing is that we marry the process. And when you think about that, what is the process? Well, we know what the process is, but we're very inconsistent in following through. And this webinar is going to be intended to help people understand the process. We're going to have some repetition. So you may think you know what you're doing, but you may be skipping over some of the most simple things that you should not be skipping over, right? Because as one high income earner that I actually was in Vegas with me told me, and he's not in LifeVantage, he's like, listen, I don't want 10 ninjas on my team. I don't want 10 network marketing ninjas, black belts on my team. I want a bunch of people doing simple things every day. I want a bunch of people doing a little. And what that, I mean, he would rather have a lot of people doing a lot, but what we know is the laws of business, to some degree, that is like the 80-20 rule, applies in network marketing. Meaning 80% of the people you enroll are going to do very, very little. And so what about that 80%? Should we just go, oh, whatever, 80%? Or should we try to obviously look for our leaders? Look for, as I said in the presentation, don't look for the poodles, right? If the name of the game is fetching, I'm not trying to recruit poodles. I'm trying to recruit Labradors. But what about that 80%? What about the 80% that may be poodles, right? Let's get them to do a little. They may not fetch like the labs, but let's get them to go and play a little bit, right? Because you just don't know who the poodle knows, right? And so if we get the masses to do a little, we end up with a lot in the end. But in order for the masses to do a little, we have to do the same activity. It has to be simple. And sometimes we complicate things. So we're going to marry the process at Team True Blue. And by the way, the company years ago, we got a little loud and rowdy with True Blue, and it was really starting to annoy other teams. I could see it, right? They maybe weren't experiencing some of the anyway. Story is they asked us to back it down. Corporate did, so we did. But what I have learned through the years is that having team unity and a team identity is extremely important. I'm extremely proud of this team. I'm extremely proud of the people that make up this team. You're just amazing people. And to tell you the truth, we have not been playing to our full potential. We've not been playing at 100%. And that's my fault. This network of people is amazing. And a lot of you guys don't even know the full network. I mean, we got cancer survivors. We've got single moms. We've got single dads. We've got doctors. We've got businessmen. We've got millennials. We've got baby boomers. We got it all here. And we are going to start playing to our strengths. We're not going to play down the strengths. We're going to play up to our strengths. And True Blue, guys, we're going to blow this thing up. We are back in a big, big way, big plans as a team. There will be functions at convention, but beyond that, there'll be functions as a team. And we don't need to get on stage and scream True Blue, but what we do need to do is rank advance a bunch of people. And I'm just going to tell you, I'm proud of you guys. I think we are on the forefront of what should be done in this company. I am fortunate enough to be in every conversation that happens at the highest level of distributorship in this company. And I get to see what other leaders are thinking. And I'm just going to tell you this, guys. I'm really excited for where we are mentally, what we're teaching, what we're training, and what we're implementing. So with that, I want to jump into this webinar tonight. I just kind of wanted to set up for you what to expect, okay? You're going to get, let's talk about the process a little bit more. What's the process? Well, things like leadership development. We know we should be reading, right? You know the saying, right? Leaders are readers. Well, sometimes on stage at our Elite Academies, we've had the highest rank say, I've never read a book. Well, that may be true, but billionaires like Tony Robbins, I think he said that he read 700 books in 5 years or something. I'm sure some of you guys know the statistics. Some of you guys, you're Tony Robbins guys out there. But I took notes when he said it. It was 700 books. I have not read 700 books. I probably haven't read 70 books, okay? Now, I have read 7, and we're going to read dozens and dozens of books together. And we know we should be doing it, but we're not doing it enough. And you know when I know someone's not reading? When they're negative Nellies. When I get on the phone with a distributor once or twice, it's okay. But if it's 3 or 4 or 5 times in a row and it's just negative stuff, they're not pouring into their personal development. They are missing part of the process. They have not married the process, okay? The other thing is like Launch 60. You got to have simple systems. That distributor that I was just talking about, that high income earner, who said he didn't want all these ninjas. He just wanted a bunch of people, normal people, doing little things, right? That is the simple duplicatable system. And there's a lot of people out there that are still just doing it their way. That's okay, but don't be negative or wonder why your business isn't growing if you're doing it your way, okay? There's simple ways to do this. We're going to be talking about that, as well as we're going to do recognition here. We're going to do some product education that I think is so important. Guys, you guys know we do have the most significant product in network marketing, bar none, bar none. Protandim is by far the most powerful supplement in network marketing. And we have the science to back it up. It's what makes us unique. You know, the network marketing conversation is easier at LifeVantage than it is at any other company because of the science. This is for real, guys. This product is for real. So we're going to be talking about the product as well as some of the other things that we've put together in years past, systems that we haven't followed through with. So this is going to be a little bit of repetition. So let's go ahead and get started, guys, with this thing tonight, as if we haven't started already. Thank you guys for jumping on here. And it's being recorded so we can get these links out to you guys at a later time. Let's start with Launch 60. I want to start off with a story before we start talking about Launch 60. And if I could, I'd like to start with Carrie in Ohio. So Carrie, if you're on, if you would unmute your line there, and see, you've unmuted yourself. Guys, I got to meet Carrie month or so ago. Time goes by so fast. Maybe it was October, maybe it was November. She's in Ohio, and she was telling me a little bit about her success with Launch 60, and I wanted you guys to hear her story from her. So Carrie, are you on?
Yep, can you hear me?
Got you loud and clear.
Okay, thank you for having me on. Hello to everybody else. As Brandon said, I'm here in Toledo, Ohio. I am currently working at a tennis club. I've been there for about 8 years, and I'm working about 30 to 35 hours a week. My goal was to get my bachelor's degree, which I completed in May, and then my hopes after that was to go on and, you know, secure a job somewhere in corporate America, kind of climb the ladder, get a big management or HR type of job where I could lead people and manage people, work with people. That was really kind of my dream job. And then I had a baby at the end of May, and my prerogative kind of changed on all of that. Going back to work after 12 weeks off was really tough. I just really wanted to stay home with my baby. And I'm really active and super involved with a lot of other things. I have a couple of side businesses in design. I do like painting furniture. I play tennis. I work out. So basically something had to give, and it kind of stinks to have to give something up. While I was on maternity leave, my chiropractor, who is a member at the tennis club, approached me about LifeVantage. It's Jason Peasley. He's a Pro 4. And I really wasn't interested. I pretty much blew him off. And then he didn't give up on me. He kept sending me links and information, and I started taking it in slowly, you know, half asleep because I was very sleep deprived. But I tried to watch the videos the best I could, and I still wasn't convinced. And he just kept bugging me. And I'm going to say bugging me because, I mean, literally every week, at least once or twice, he would keep reaching out to me and was really trying to get me on board, saying that I was like perfect candidate for this. So finally, I started doing my own research, and I realized that there was something big here that I would be missing out on if I didn't join. I felt like I had a really big opportunity, and that eventually maybe I could even do kind of what I wanted, which is working with people and leading people in the long run. So I was in. I totally put everything in, and I won't forget the day that I did it. I was sitting, you know, at the table at a restaurant with him and another mentor, and when I processed my credit card, my heart kind of dropped a little bit. It was like, okay, I just, you know, invested a bunch of money into this. My goal was to make my money back, and then, you know, if it whatever happened from there, if I kept growing and making more money, great. And I ended up making my money back in about a month. So at this point, I feel like I have nothing to lose, and I just would keep going forward. So the launch calls is what I was really asked to talk about. I was approached by Chris, who's one of my mentors, and he wanted me to get on a launch call and actually hooked me up with Brandon. And it was really, really easy. Basically, I made a list of people that I wanted to contact to try to get them on this call. So, I think I had a list of 16 to 20 people, and I would just send them a message and say, hey, if you could just hop on this call. I just launched my own business. I'd really appreciate it if you would just take 10 to 15 minutes out of your day and listen to what I have to say. Please just do this call with me. And some people wanted to know more information right away, and all I said to them was, just get on the call. You'll learn more. It's going to blow your mind. You're really going to like what I have going on right now. So out of those 16 to 20 people, I had 9 people get on the call, and just doing that was really easy. So I basically just did the same intro that I just gave you guys to all the people that got on. And then Brandon took over and did all of the talking for me, and which is, really nice as a new person in this business, especially. I don't really know everything right to say and how to get people really engaged quite yet. And then we just closed the call with, I'll follow up with you guys. Thank you for taking the time out. I know you're busy, but thank you so much. And literally right after the call ended, I had 4 or 5 people text me and say, thank you for having me on the call, and kind of asking me some more questions. And what stemmed from that was 2 meetings in my home. I had I think I ended up with 10 people because I invited some more people, but I had 2 presentations in my home within the next week or 2. And I got 10 people between the 2 of them, and ended up getting 4 customers and 1 person that had agreed to be a distributor after that. So, it's really a great way to get people's interest without saying too much, and quote unquote, like I really like to use the terminology of vomiting all over them. When you're starting out, you don't want to say too much and start telling them all this stuff about the product that's overwhelming, and they just think you're another supplemental company just trying to get their money. So the launch call for sure is a great way, whether you're starting out or if you've been in this for a little while. It's really a great way to get information out to multiple people at one time.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that with us, Carrie. And some of you may recognize the voice. She actually put a video up on our Team True Blue Facebook page. If you guys are not on that page, make sure you're on, because we're sharing a lot of these stories there. So guys, a couple things I picked up on there, right? So part of Launch 60 is that we segment who we're calling, right? And so we asked you guys in Launch 60 to make 3 groups of 20 people: a support group, a product group, and a business group. And so Carrie just said she called 16 to 20 people. Great. You see, that's part of the process. I've had some people say, well, I called 50 people. That's not what we said to do with Launch 60, okay? We said call 20, okay? And so there's a reason behind that. Lots of reasons. So remember to marry the process, right? So call 20 people, put 20 people on that list, because listen, when Launch 60 is done, we can launch 120, like we can do another 60. Don't try and put your entire database on these first few calls, because the magic here, the success here is in the follow-up. It really, really is. Because the next thing I wrote down, besides the fact that she had 9 people on the call, which, hey, call 16 to 20, get half on, that's about right. She had 4 people text right after, but what I wrote down significantly is she followed up that launch call with 2 home meetings, all right? So it doesn't have to be a big home meeting. It just be a couple people in your home. I've always said the best home meetings are the meetings that have the people that you invite know where the bathrooms are before they get there, right? They already know because they've been to your home. They're familiar. But these meetings can be set up at Starbucks. They can be set up the meeting where you would like and where your friends would like to meet, regardless of the opportunity of the product, okay? Just keep that in mind. So I hope you guys are listening to these details. And guys, 4 PCs and 1 distributor out of 1 launch call is phenomenal. Phenomenal. And remember guys, it's launched 60. It's not launched 20. It's not launched 40. It's launched 60 in a month. So we want you to do 3 of these calls in a month. And we're going to go over again tonight the specifics of what we're trying to achieve in these calls. So with that, I want to put one more story up for you guys. Actually, before we do that, we're going to go to Jessica. But before we do that, let me share my screen here. And I'm going to pull up this Launch 60 document, okay? And so it's 5 steps to launch your business, all right? And you need to go over this and don't miss these steps, guys. We need to know what you want out of your LifeVantage business. You need to set goals. And you need to know what your auto ship is going to be for your household. Those are all important things. Now, something we added to this document is this next section right here where these goals are outlined. If you don't have this, we'll make this available through our Facebook pages and other means, okay? But remember, there's 3 specific goals that we're trying to accomplish with Launch 60. Because I've said for a long time, once you identify the problem, the solution is easy. But you need to really, that may sound easy, right? But really, the problem sometimes is disguised. And I know that one of the problems in network marketing, not LifeVantage by itself, but network marketing, is people struggle with getting paid full commissions because they're not qualified through their auto ships. 2 or 3, depending on how many fingers or thumbs I'm holding up, people end up accumulating product at their home that they really don't need. And when you have product accumulating in a home that you don't need, you know what happens? People shut off their auto ships. So the goals here for Launch 60 are to eliminate those problems. Number 1 goal is to have more than 200 PV personal volume to qualify you for full commissions after Launch 60. Not Launch 20, not Launch 40, Launch 60. Okay, that's goal number 1. Okay, to have more than 200 PV so that you're full commission. Guys, if we just accomplished that with our team, all of your volumes would double. All of them. Because right now, the average auto ship is under $100. So what happens if he goes to 200? Okay, so, and I'm talking about for distributors. So that's goal number 1. Goal number 2 is that all the products that you receive in your kit are gone after Launch 60. Why? Because you've got people that are coming to your homes in these meetings. You're going to be sampling product, selling product. And we've got the 90-day challenge now, the Physique 90-day challenge. Guys, if you can't move one of those kits, then you're not in. All right, we're going to talk about that a little bit tonight. And the last thing is you want 10 in motion, meaning you want 10 people that are close to making a decision, okay, after Launch 60. If you do those things, Launch 60 was a massive success because you can easily duplicate it because of what Carrie just said. I thought it was great that she said, you know, at the beginning, you just don't know exactly what to say or the emphasis, and then you end up kind of vomiting the wrong things, and it ends up feeling and looking like network marketing again, right? Launch 60 eliminates that because you put someone on the phone that has high belief, high excitement. Another thing I heard in Vegas, pay attention to this, guys. The highest income earners in network marketing find a way to stay excited. Sometimes you got to search because it's a business, right? Not every business goes sky high and never has flat spots or down spots, okay? So the highest income earners are able to be excited even when volumes or things in the organization aren't exactly the way they are. You get what you focus on. And that's a goal that I have this year, and it's a goal that I want to transfer to my entire organization. Eliminate the negativity. Put blinders on. If someone says something negative to you, acknowledge it, but just maybe say, listen, I understand how you feel, but I have to operate in a mindset of high energy and positivity. And this conversation is too negative for me. Don't be afraid to say it, guys. Okay. We're going to address that issue too in this webinar tonight a little bit more. But if you do these things, these three things, it's a success. Okay. Now, the other stuff hasn't changed. One list is support. One list is business minded. One list is health minded. Make sure your launch meeting, step 4, is set up. And then your examples of how you follow up with people. Okay. Look at number 4. When someone says, yes, let's do this, you say, great, let's get started now. And then see in parentheses there, stop talking and sign them up. Marry the process. Marry the process. The process is to stop talking and sign them up. Okay. Another thing we need to do, guys, is we need to start closing the deal. So when I close my launch calls, now I just did one a few minutes ago, and the call was a little different because some things happened today in our personal life that wasn't normal. Everything's okay, but it wasn't normal. But the way I normally close my launch calls is that so-and-so is going to follow up with you as a friend, not as a salesman. And we are going to provide you information, enough information until you have enough information to make a decision. We're not chasing, we're not bugging. We just want to provide you enough information so that you can make an educated decision. Guys, too many of you have hundreds of people in la-la land. Provide information until they're ready to make a decision. If the decision's no, we know it's no for now. We know that. I've had people tell me no for years, over a year. It's no for now. Okay? You keep building yourself. You keep developing yourself. And this is an attraction business, and it will come full circle. And believe me, a lot is going to come full circle in 2017. So with that, let me unshare my screen, and we're going to come back to Florida. I think she's in Florida right now. Miss Jessica Perez, are you there with us tonight?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. I want you to share with us tonight your Launch 60 story. It's quite amazing. What are you guys without camera? Why am I the only one on a camera? Come on, man. Am I putting
your host has to let me do it.
Ooh.
That's what it's telling me.
Okay, okay. Oh, see.
I just got my True Blue shirt on for you, Brandon.
Okay, wait a second. Okay, I'm gonna call. Wait a second. Doggone it.
Yeah, it won't let me on my end.
I'm trying to undo the video. I'll fix it. Go with your story.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Well, thanks for having me on. For those of you who don't know, I'm Jessica J-Lo Perez in Florida. He's absolutely right. Tampa, Florida, as a matter of fact, so just down the road from Brandon. And I was introduced to LifeVantage, October of 2011. So congrats to Carrie to hopping in and hopping on quickly and just making things move. For me, I'm a Pro 4. You know, I was introduced to it from a product perspective. That was how I was introduced. And what I saw was not only an incredible product, I knew the science had me for sure, but it was really about the culture and the timing. That's what drew me in from a traditional business setting. Worked in government, worked in education. I was very traditional in the mindset and really had never really explored entrepreneurism. And what's occurred in the last, I want to say the last year, but really in the last 6 months has really been re-looking at my business. As a Pro 4, I've been Pro 4 for probably longer than I want to be. And being fully and blatantly honest, it just really hit flatlined. And it had flatlined not because of my lack of excitement, but just because I fell into a mode and a mindset of being more of a manager. That's what my previous life had held, was I managed people. So listening to Carrie talk about wanting that for a job, I'm like, oh, listen to me. It's not all that it's cracked up to be. But, you know, it provided me a good income, but it certainly didn't provide me with happiness that I was looking for. So what Launch 60 has done for me in the last couple of months is just completely turned my business around. So I am truly, truly grateful for the opportunity to kind of reopen my business and relaunch. So it's not just a launch, but it's a relaunching for me. What's been awesome is understanding that it was a great way to go back to some individuals that I had maybe shared previously a few years back and just kind of say, I'd love your support. Would you just mind hopping on and listening for 10, 15 minutes? And so it was just a really easy, non-threatening, very no pressure support mode for a lot of folks. And for someone who's been in the business for a long time, it was just a great, easy transition for them to say, you know what, sure, why not? So I did 3 launch calls. I did those in a short amount of time, about 3 weeks. Of those, there were business folks on there were support folks, and there certainly were folks who were interested in health. So I kind of had the whole gamut within those 3 calls. I did connect with about, I reached out to about 50, 60 folks. I was able to get out of those 3 launch calls about 12 people in motion, which I know that we've talked a lot about that 10 in motion, but I had 12, which is pretty awesome. And that was in the month of December, the end of November and December, when typically my business had flatlined in November, December in the past. It was ramping up. So for someone who's been a part of this business for 5 years, it was just very, not just enlightening, but it was just like, woo, light bulbs clicking all over the place. So I'd like to share just a couple stories. We actually have one of my launch call folks on who is a new distributor. I saw his name on here, so it's awesome to see him on this webinar, who is now a distributor, okay, from a launch call. So it started off, though, as a social media connection, and I know we talked a little bit about that too, but we met via social media, sat down for a lunch meeting. He had no idea what I was doing. We shared the fact that, said, why don't you hop on and kind of learn what I do? Tomorrow I've got a call, 9 o'clock. Would you like to hop on? He's like, you know what? I think I will. So he did. And ironically, someone else was on that launch call that he hadn't talked to in a couple years. So how crazy is that? She found us through social media as well and the LV Move app.
Hey, Jess, see if you can undo your video now.
Okay. Wait, is it there? Yes. Hey. Yeah. Cool. So Carlton, he hops on this call, and here's someone else who he knows, but he did not share this call with, and was like, hello, how are you doing? So I'm on the other line going, wow, these 2 people know each other, and they're on this launch call together, which is pretty awesome. So we've since followed up with her. From that, Carlton got into the LV Move app, just like Ganya, so they got some good information there. So we plugged him into that, and then sat down, did a one-on-one, got Carlton to an LV Academy, got him to an actual home meeting with you and Dr. Benny, and just the magic began happening. So he got right into that event cycle that I know we talk about. But that's just one story. I've got 5 more that have kind of blossomed from there. I've got another one who went from launch call to LV Move to a one-on-one to a home meeting to LV Academy, and is now wanting a platinum pack but doesn't financially have that. And he's like, I'm holding out till I get it, and it's going to be at the end of the month. So how cool for him to kind of go through that process and stay plugged in through the whole thing and be in that realm. So that's been really awesome. I even invited a couple PCs onto my launch calls too that I knew were kind of on the verge of maybe thinking about this. One of them just joined not only as a business partner, but is in the challenge now, so the physique challenge. So she went from a PC, added Axio, because so that was kind of cool. My PV went up that call. And then now she's a distributor. So lots of real positive stuff, all because of inviting folks and being excited again. But I'm on fire. Okay, yeah. So anyway, it's kind of cool seeing the little messages at the bottom. But it's just been really exciting just having that kind of switch turn and starting these individuals off the right way. So Carlton knows what he needs to do is a launch call. And when Zakara comes on, he knows it's a launch call. And Gina knows it's the launch call. And those are the things they're going to start off in the right way. So that's what I got. I appreciate it. Thanks for your time. And that's right.
Thank you for jumping on. And so what you guys just got is 2 different of the spectrum of distributors, right? A new distributor with Carrie and a new mom. See, that's another part of that story. If you guys will listen closely to these stories, I bet that new baby for Carrie had more to do with her saying yes to this opportunity than anything else, right? And so thank goodness Dr. P, Jason, was persistent. She says bugging. I'll say persistent. But even with Jessica here, guys, had been in the business. If you listen to her story, she'd been in the business for a while. And she was able to use Launch 60 in the month of December to have massive results like she hadn't had before. So I knew right away that as leaders, when we collaborated and put Launch 60 out, I knew right away in my gut, I lost sleep 3 or 4 nights because I knew how good it was going to be. Okay, it's going to be here a long time. I've had networkers from outside of LifeVantage say how brilliant it is. And we've had networkers in LifeVantage from other companies absolutely say it's brilliant, and they are implementing it in their organizations. And maybe some of you guys know who they are. So I think we've covered everything we needed with Launch 60. Guys, just know that we have 2 documents. There's talking points. It's basically, guys, a launch call is basically a 3-way call for several people at one time. That's basically what it is, okay? And you can use that document, you can use those talking points on 3-way calls as well. So that's enough for Launch 60. I hope we said enough for tonight. It's Launch 60, it's not Launch 20. If you haven't done 3 of them, you haven't launched. And these 2 ladies both hit their goals, right? And Jessica and Carrie both ended up with distributors from Launch 60, which is just, that's like the icing on the cake, because now you got a whole new database. You get to get after this thing again with their database, and that's the goal, right? Because they have Labradors in their database. They have a lot of poodles, but they have Labradors in their database also. Yes. So let's switch gears now over to a section of this webinar that I'm really looking forward to, because it's going to force me to be better. And that is kind of the leadership development part of what we need to institute into our teams. Not that it's not there, and certainly the people that are going to participate tonight with this are leaders and are reading and educating and have spoken at a high level, a high level. In fact, it's just now dawning on me right now that they spoke with John Maxwell this year, both of them. And that wasn't planned that way. It's just the way it happened. But again, how many times have we been told that this is a leadership development business? How many times have we been told that as you grow, your paycheck grows? How many times have we told you are the rank you deserve to be based on your growth? When you grow, you will rank advance, okay? But I bet all of you, if you would be honest with yourself, would say that you haven't been consistent enough with your reading, with your listening, with your personal development plan. And so what we're going to do on a monthly basis, not tonight because this is the inaugural webinar for the team. We've got to come up with a name for this webinar. But every month we're going to pick a book, and I've picked the book for next month already. We'll announce that. But every month we're going to pick a book, and you got a month to read the book, and that's more than enough time. Right? And then at the end of that month, we're going to come back. We're going to have a couple people discussing the points of the book they enjoyed the most and how they applied it to their business. So we're going to marry the process, guys, and we're going to have that repetition. So with that, I want to turn it over to Tim Cox for a little bit. You guys know Tim is down in New Orleans, Louisiana, and I think the world of Tim as a leader. The guy looks so young. I thought he was a millennial. He reminded me he's a little off the cusp there, you know. So that Pro Tandem, dude, keep rubbing that True Science and that Pro Tandem. You're looking like a millennial to me, but he doesn't think like a millennial. So Tim, I'm gonna give it over to you to tell them what you've enjoyed in the past, what you just read, and how you applied it to your business.
All right, can you hear me okay?
Perfect.
Hey, don't give away my age now. I married down to Sarah, and I figured that took at least 5 years off my age, right?
That's probably what's fooling me. That's probably
no, I'm actually 37. So if I was considered a millennial, I'd be like the senior citizen of the millennials. But having a wife that I've been together with for the last 5 years really taught me a lot about the generation, how they operate. But I just want to say to you, Brandon, I appreciate your leadership and everything that you've provided with Team True Blue. I've been involved with this company for 5 years now, and I think one of the things that I loved when I joined this company was the fact that I joined a team. I played sports all my life. I love the team camaraderie. And I just want to show you this, Brandon.
Yeah, that's old school.
I was excited to get one of these T-shirts because I was excited to be a part of a team that had leadership and a vision. And still to this day, guys, I want to tell you, those of you who are on this team, be proud of what you have as leaders. We talk to people all the time outside of our organization, and they wish they had the type of leadership that we have. But the great thing is our team is not exclusive to Team True Blue. We can have people that can plug into all of these things that we have and be a part of our team, sort of adopted members. So I want to talk a little bit. You know, it's crazy, Brandon. If you'd have told me 10 years ago I'd be hopping on a webinar to talk about reading, I would have laughed in your face. Reading was just not something that I implemented into my life. However, audiobooks has been something that's been a part of my life for a long time. I'm a very slow reader, you know, and reading books is it's not been a strength of mine. And there was a pivotal moment in my life back in my early 20s. You know, I grew up in Houma, Louisiana, and personal development is not something that anybody's a part of, right? You know, Brandon, growing up in Houma, it's just not something that people are a part of. My sister moved out to the West Coast, and she sent me this stack of CDs called Tony Robbins Get the Edge. There you go. Who dat? Sent me the stack of CDs called Tony Robbins Get the Edge. And I want to tell you guys, that stack of CDs completely changed my life. It shaped and molded me into the person I am today. A lot of people comment about you know, the type of mentality that I have as a leader, and the type of I'm able to put things into perspective. I attribute that A, to having great parents, but B, the personal development that I've gone through over the last 15 years has really guided me in my journey in network marketing. What a gift to be involved in an industry that lends itself so well to personal development. Guys, this industry will mold and shape you into a completely different person. And it not only will help you in your business, but it'll help you in every form of your life. It'll help you be a better friend, help you be a better husband. And guys, I'm having a baby March 20th. It's going to help me be a better father. And we heard the saying all the time, dig the well before you're thirsty. And we've been digging this well for a few years now. And I can tell you guys, with the baby on the way, the thirst is real. But, you know, we built this business together to have that time freedom and to be able to do the things that we wanted to do when we had, you know, we wanted to do them. And now we have to be somewhere. And to have that time freedom, guys, all I can say is hold on to that vision of what this business can do for you. And so I have implemented a 1 book a month. This past year, I started implementing either an audiobook or a book if it's short. And the book I want to talk to you about is Jordan Adler's Beach Money. You know, I was at the GoPro event with the rest of the guys, and I watched Jordan Adler on stage. He had a lot of energy. He was powerful. And I loved his message. So first thing I did while I was watching him, I downloaded the audiobook onto my phone. And I want to tell you a little bit about this book. This is a guy that bought a 25-cent book about network marketing in the 80s. And he formulated this vision inside of his head of what it would be like to have beach money, to be able to sit on a beach and collect a residual check. And that vision that he had carried him through 11 companies. And through those 11 companies, he signed 0 distributors. And so that's why vision is so important. Vision, we know the people that show up to the meetings, they don't do anything, but that vision of what this business can provide for you is strong. It'll help you maintain, but there's a few different components that go along with that vision, right? The personal development is something that he got throughout his journey. He said he implemented 1 book a month for his 11 companies that he was in. But the missing component for him was commitment. He didn't have the commitment. So you can have all the vision in the world. You can have vision boards. You can write stuff down. But until you truly commit yourself and do the activities, all the other stuff is a waste of time. And so the difference for him was when he sat down and really put it on paper and decided that he was going to ignore the doubt, he was going to ignore the fear, he was going to ignore the hesitation, and he was just going to go full force in it. And within a matter of 3 years, the guy was making over $1 million a year in his 12th company. And so when you match that commitment with that vision in the personal development, guys, magic can happen. Personal development is so key in our industry. You can go to the official distributor page and tell immediately the people that have not developed personally, because they're on the official distributor page. They're complaining about every little thing that happens in the company. And the danger of that, when you let every little thing rattle you in this company, is everybody sees that and everybody slows down. You're implementing doubt. You're planting a seed of doubt in other people's organizations. And so I want to caution you, if you have an issue like that, what leaders do is take that stuff upline, take it directly to corporate. Don't go out there and do all that stuff. That's part of having that personal development. Another thing I've noticed in this profession is we talk a lot about momentum, right? We've drawn that S curve for a long time, and everybody wants to ride that wave of momentum. It feels good, right? The danger is people start to feel like momentum is everything in our profession. and they're going looking for the momentum. And if it doesn't happen in our company, what do? They go to another company and look for momentum. If it doesn't happen there, they go to another company. They're going to different companies looking for the magic pill, looking for the magic momentum, and they're completely missing on the fact that they need to improve themselves personally, and they need to improve their skill set. Because even if your company goes through momentum, you can be completely unskilled and have a lot of success. But when momentum dies down, you're going to be left with how well are you developed and how much are your skills developed to truly create your own momentum within your organization. And so that's super, super important, guys. Implement that. Get better every single day as a leader, and your team will get better. They're going to do as you do, not as you say. And Brandon wanted me to hit, even though he said, I'll just claim it. I'm a millennial, right? I grew up in the technology era. I feel like I relate to that. And one thing I think this millennial age range is just an untapped resource in our profession. Why? Because we live in the technology age. Things can move so much faster. Information can move so much faster. But, hindsight is 20/20. We have the ability to see what has happened in generations before. The baby boomers, what did they do? They followed in the footsteps of the generations before. They found a secure job. They went to have a retirement with a company that was going to take care of them. What happened? That didn't happen. And we as millennials, and even a little bit older generation, have had the opportunity to watch the baby boomers try to follow in that footstep and figure out that old system doesn't work anymore. And so a lot of people have figured out that they want a better way. And I want to challenge you guys to create your own vision of what a free life will be like for you. But take that vision and implement commitment. Because without commitment, guys, it doesn't matter what kind of vision you have. Nothing is going to happen in your business. And so it doesn't matter what age range you're in. You can be a baby boomer. You can be a millennial. You can be a senior citizen. Anybody can have success in this business as long as you apply yourself. And Brandon, I don't know if you have anything else you want me to talk about. I want to thank you for the opportunity to be on this. When I first joined, one of my goals was to be on the Team True Blue call. And that call was such a staple in our organization for a long time. Got to be on there twice. And I consider it an honor and a privilege to be on this initial monthly webinar. I think this is going to be an amazing tool for our teams.
Thanks, Tim. I appreciate that. And yeah, you're an amazing dude. And so what are we? Like, if you're not millennial, does that make you Generation X? Is that next?
I think I'm creating my own category here.
Oh, because I think I'm X, and that would mean you're on the bottom of X and I'm on the top of X, and whatever.
Yeah,
whatever.
I can relate to both, I guess, because I'm right there in the middle.
So Jordan Adler, you got out of that commitment, and that's good, guys. I mean, 11 companies. So, man, high five to that dude. I don't know if I could do 11 companies, but he did the 12th one. He smoked it. Yep. So, guys, this profession doesn't always happen immediately for everybody, but when you commit, right, all in. Blue Elam's all about that, right? He's the firefighter, and he said something yesterday that just resonated with me. He's like, you got to go all in, guys. If you want to make a couple $100 a month, you don't have to go all in. If you want beach money, you got to go all in, okay? It depends on what you want, all right? So I appreciate that, and I'm not I don't read books, I read chapters, Tim, and the rest of you. So I have like books stacked up, right? And I got to kind of mark the page. But audios, I can jump on a plane and I can do audios. And then here's what I do. I got the little black book right here, right? And in my book, I've got I take a page and I just take the highlights, and these things are documented up here for us. So anyway, you don't have to read if you don't like reading, but you got to put good stuff in, personal development stuff, audio books, however you want to get it. So. With that, let's switch over to Fred Graves. You guys know that actually both these guys, as I just said, spoke out in Atlanta with the John Maxwell group. And Fred has been an amazing part of every process of Team True Blue from the very beginning, him and his wife, Casey. They're family with us. We just went down to Mexico together. We know each other very intimately. Sometimes that's good, sometimes it's not. We have fun with each other. But it's been amazing to be able to build this with family. Because when we go on vacation, I can promise you the last thing we're worried about is how much something costs. Okay? We just go have a vacation. And it's awesome to do that together. But that happened through personal development. A lot from me, a lot from this guy. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Fred, and let you share what you've been able to learn through things that you've taken in.
Awesome. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I got you.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm fired up. This is an awesome webinar. It's going to be a huge asset to our groups. I'm excited. This thing's rolling out. And, I tell you what, guys, I got involved with this. And as you guys know my story, I dropped out of school at 16. And reading is not a highlight of mine. I'm good at math. I'm good at pretty much everything but English. I'll never forget when I got my CDL driver's license, I said, there's no way I'm opening that book. And I went and I paid to do the test. I never even opened the book. And there's 3 chapters. I passed 2 of the 3. So then I knew I only had to read 1 chapter. I mean, that's how I roll. So, I'll never forget it. I made everybody leave. I sat in my motorhome. And I plugged my ears and I've read this book because I read stuff, but my mind is everywhere. So my comprehension is no bueno. But I kind of took the theory in life, if you've heard me say before, if someone has something that you want, do what they've done. And I always hear this crap, and I'll call it crap, that leaders are readers. And I've disagreed from that from day one, and I still disagree. Reading does not make you a leader. Okay, the difference is leaders read, but leaders apply what they read. There's the difference. And what I've always done is I've always followed the reader. So I let you read the book, and I'll follow what you do, right? And I just figured that was faster. But I've realized in this business, it is a huge asset for you to grow your mind, to grow you as a person. There's no person that got involved with network marketing and didn't grow to become the leader they became. No one just signed a dotted line. They were studs and went to the top. The person that I was when I enrolled is not the person I am today. The person that Brandon was when he enrolled is not the person he was today. Everyone has to change as a person. Why? Because of how we think, right? So there's a couple books that I tried to pick up, but I couldn't get through it. And I'll never forget it. I was the first time I taught Pro 5 Summit. And one of my mentors handed me some books, and he said, you should read these. And he kind of chuckled, meaning like, you dude, read them. And one was How to Win and Influence People. I couldn't get through it. The next book was The Compound Effect. And holy crap, that Compound Effect book was exactly what I needed at a perfect time. And if you guys are on my team, you guys know a huge shift happened for me. I went from saying, don't waste your time reading books to I blasted everybody on my team and said, go get this book and read it. It changes the way that you think. It changes your marriage. It changes the way that you view money. It changes the way that you view life, the way that you view working, right? And the reason why that's important is in this business, we hear all the time, you hear the analogy of what network marketing is. The whole book revolves around the compound effect. Doing a little bit daily, the consistency pays off, right? And as Americans, we feed off of instant gratification. I mean, every single one of us on this phone, you guys have heard my illustration, we've accepted the value of our time. Every single one of us on our typical job, whether you get paid $5 an hour, $10 an hour, $15 an hour, you have accepted that's what you're worth. And you accept going to work for that time. So if I'm a person that accepts getting paid $50 an hour, I'm okay going to work 10 hours a day as long as I get paid $50 an hour per hour that I work. Does that make sense? If I accept $50 an hour, there's no way that I'm going to go to work for $10 an hour, right? So we feed off of instant gratification. Then we get into a business for beach money, right? An opportunity that we can create financial freedom, do the work right now to create a lifestyle of life that we want to live, right? It's a different mindset, right? So how many of us have gotten involved with this opportunity? We pay our initiation, our distributor fee, and we call 5 people like, doesn't work. Nobody signed up. We're so used to going to work an hour, getting paid an hour, working 10 hours, being paid 10 hours, that's what we expect to do in this business. Well, if the end result is money coming in and no time creating the money, doesn't common sense say, hey, maybe I've got to go put the time and work without getting the money, and then the roles flip? And what I love about it is it really highlighted, you hear a lot of different analogies in this business from mentors, And what hit home is the concept of what started network marketing, Brandon. And it's the question we ask people all the time. Would you take $1 million cash right now? Or would you take 1 penny right now and every day it's doubled? Think about that for a second. So $1 million right now, or a penny every day, I double the amount. Your instincts would go, man, give me $1 million, right? That's the logic of instant gratification. The difference is a penny doubled every day turns out to be $11 million. Guys, that's network marketing. Do you know on like day 25, you made the right choice by going with the $1 million. But on day 31, it's $11 million. So that's the beauty of the compound effect, instant gratification. It changed the way that I thought. It changed the way that I treated my team. It changed me as a leader, how I viewed this business and all these different things. And you know, I tell you what, Brandon, we hear it all the time. If you're not growing, you're dying. And this is something that I've been needing to do better at. And I love this program that you put together, this monthly deal, because now it's going to keep me accountable. Because as a leader, I can tell you what, you can't tell your team to do anything that you can't expect your team to go to all the events if you're not there. You can't expect your team to be at all the presentations plugged in if you're not there. You can't expect your team to be making three-way calls every day and exposing this business if you're not doing it, because leaders don't talk about it, they're about it. That's all right. The slogan we made up, don't talk about it, be about it. That's what a leader is. And the bottom line is I love this because I can't tell any of my leaders that they should go develop themselves and read another book if I'm not reading a book, right? So I love this. It's going to be great, guys. And I'm telling you what, when you the way that you view life is more positive. You're never stuck in a rut. You're always thinking clearer. You're thinking more positive. You're thinking bigger. And that's what grows this business. So, guys, I'm fired up, and I'm going to pass the mic back over to you, buddy.
Awesome, guys. Launch 60, tell you just a little story. And let me tell you guys, too, this webinar is going to go, it's already pushing an hour right now. And we're only doing this once a month. So I don't know what the time slot's going to be, but I'm digging what we've got going right now. I feel the vibe, and we're just going to keep running with it for what we have right now. But Launch 60 was the collaboration of a few leaders, but I'll just tell you really quickly, Fred calls me one day and he was not happy. But because of the personal development he'd already done, and because he was in solution mode, this was right after his surgery. His arm was still all jacked up and bandaged up. He drove down to my house, 45 minutes south, and we just sat and we just brainstormed. And finally we got a board out, and about 2 hours later, Launch 60 was born. And I didn't wake up that day. I had things in my mind, but it was Fred as the catalyst, right? He was in solution mode that day. That comes from being a leader and developing as a leader, not just sitting back, moving forward. And so Launch 60, that program is a massively successful program because of personal development, period. All right. So thanks, Fred, for jumping on. I know you had a busy night tonight. Let's do this real quick. We had some rank advancements last month. We had a few new Pro 3s last month. I want to get this out there. Wendy Hill, Jessica Jin, more Jessicas. We got lots of Jessicas. We got some more. Freddie Mortera and Ezekiel Carvajal. That's a tough one for me to pronounce. I don't know if that's Ecuadorian or what, but congratulations, you guys. Pro 3 is a big rank. It's a really, really big rank in the month of December, nonetheless. So that's awesome. Thank you guys for doing what you've done, and on to Pro 4, right? I want to bring on Dr. DeLucia at this point. We're going to, every month, we're going to share some product educational stuff, because I know when belief is built, action follows. And I couldn't think of a better person to have on here tonight than Dr. DeLucia, because he's here in the Tampa area. I remember when he enrolled. In fact, I won't get off into that story because of time, but I was there at the meeting. I left my family to go do a meeting at this doctor's office with Brian Ciroli, and lo and behold, it's Dr. DeLucia. Dr. DeLucia is an elite distributor. He's an amazing physician. He's an amazing person. He's an amazing distributor with LifeVantage. And I asked him to share a little bit because there's no doctor on our team that has more experience with Nerf2 and Protandim than Dr. DeLucia. He is senior when it comes to that. So Dr. DeLucia, if you're on, unmute yourself, and love to hear what you've got to share tonight.
Hey, Brandon, can you hear me?
It's a little bit light. If you could either turn volume up or.
Okay, let me see what I can do. How about now? Any better?
That's better.
Okay, good. I'm sitting over here in Port St. Lucie, Florida. Thank you for having me on. We had a great meeting tonight, but they just kicked us out of our clubhouse. So we're sitting in the car. And you asked me to I guess, to validate what we have. Our flagship product, Protandim Nerf 2. I was shown that, you were there about 6.5 years ago. And I got excited when I saw that video. We had one video, we had one product, but I really got excited about what I saw. But I had to convince myself. I had to go out and look. I went and looked at the studies we had. At the time, I believe we had 7 published medical studies. We now have 22 published peer-reviewed studies. Most of those are independent of the company. Most of those are paid for by institutions like the NIH, the National Institute on Aging, U.S. government, American Heart Association. That's impressive. Nobody else has anything like that. That to me is very, very exciting. But when I got on the product and got my family and friends on it, and my patients, I tracked everything I could. I did lab work, I did blood pressures, I did weights, my diabetics, I checked my hypertensives, I checked my cardiovascular patients, everything. I did lab work. Before we started them, 6 months in, a year in, I sent all those lab reports to Dr. McCord. He got excited. He got to see it in action because Dr. McCord unfortunately got to see mostly mice. I got to see humans. So he got very excited about what we were seeing together. And that over that period, that first year, my belief grew tremendously in what we have. And I understand it very well now because I've had 6.5 years experience with thousands of people, and the results have been phenomenal, better than even I had ever hoped. And now we have studies and published medical studies like Washington State University stating that Nerf 2 activation is the biggest breakthrough in the history of medicine. I absolutely agree with that. And we have the premier product, the premier Nerf 2 activator today. So there's no doubt in my mind that we will be an everyday household name. And I believe that's coming soon. I believe within the next 5 years, we'll be the branded Nerf 2 activator. You won't go buy a Nerf 2 activator. You'll go buy Protandim. And we'll have a huge worldwide, world-changing product on our hands. And I believe that firmly. And that's really why I'm in this business and in this company, because I think we can change the world. Now we have our Nerf 1 activator. It's going to be just as big. The physique line, now that we're doing the 90-day challenge, I think people are going to be aware of how important that is because of the way it was designed. There's nothing done sloppily or by chance with this company. They're very well thought out products, all of them. And they're designed to all work together, which I find really exciting.
Well, I appreciate you sharing the information. And one kind of supplemental question, and we got to be careful about how we say things because we're not going to make any medical claims. But I do know that you put a lot of patients on Protandim. And we can't talk about any diseases specifically. But could you maybe share one story or quick 2 stories of not the disease state, but some of the things that blew me away of some of the patients that were on X number of prescriptions and after Protandim, not so much? Anything come to mind? Well,
For one, I was on 4 medications at the time I started Protandim. A year later, I was on none. So that to me, I saw it myself, but in tons of my patients, it literally changed the way I practice medicine, because for the majority of my patients, I was taking them off multiple medications, some of them all their medications. So it was nothing like I ever saw before. And I had been practicing medicine for about 30 years at the time. So I was well aware of how many pills people were getting and passing them out myself, because that's all we're taught. But when I found a different way, something better, something healthier, it completely changed the way we practice medicine.
Awesome. Thank you for being on tonight. Drive back safely. I guess you're going all the way back to St. Pete tonight. Maybe, I don't know. It's got across the state, but you guys, he's working the business. He's on the East Coast of Florida. It's 10:30 out here, and that's what I loved about Dr. DeLucia. Very humble guy, and he just, I every Tuesday night he showed up, and I'd like nudge the guys. I'm like, the doctor's back. This is awesome. The doctor's back, and I'm glad you've been a part of what we've done all these years, and I'm glad you've seen a lot of success with LifeVantage, and appreciate you sharing that information with us tonight. So last couple of things I want to share with you guys tonight as we start to wrap this webinar up, some very important information. So this is kind of the segment of the webinar that would be your announcements, strategies, plannings type things, okay? The company is moving quickly right now, and some things that get announced and you just don't know, right? So you guys, I hope you know, and if you don't know, the compensation plan has been enhanced. The launch bonuses are rolling. And there is a new printout. You can go just to lifevantage.com, get your PDF, go to the opportunity, scroll to the bottom of the page, and you can get your PDF, okay? You need to know what the packs are called. They're not Vantage packs anymore, right? They're silver, gold, and platinum. Important, guys, that you know that there's some new leg requirements starting to roll out as of this month for some of the lower ranks. So it used to be that you could get all the way to Pro 6 with 2 legs. That is no longer the case. To be a Pro 2, you now need a second leg. It's an 80-20 split. So you would need 20% of $2,500, which is $500, right? To be paid as a Pro 2. And that leg qualification now will take you all the way to Pro 5. Okay, at Pro 5 now, you're going to need a third leg to get paid as a Pro 5, all the way to Pro 10. Okay, the leg requirements did not change for 7, 8, 9, or 10. We talked about a lot of stuff. Ironically, before any of these enhancements were made, they ran multiple models. And in every model, your paycheck goes up. So if you're a Pro 4 in November or December, and you're a Pro 4 in January, February, March, April, May, with the new requirements, your check goes up. If you're a Pro 5, if the Pro 6 check, if you're a Pro 6 in November or December, and you're a Pro 6 once those final requirements kick in, which I think is April. I'll find out for sure by next month's webinar, but I think that goes in effect in April for the Pro 6s, because we kind of staggered this out. We gave the Pro 2s 90 days to go get $500 in volume, and we're giving the rest of the people 6 months, I think it was, or close to it. Because yeah, the announcement happened in November. So we're already 60 days that you've known about this to go out and get that extra leg requirement. If you do so, if you're paid as a Pro 6 now and you're paid a Pro 6 in a couple months, your check is going up big time. The Pro 7 checks are going up. The H checks are going up. Because we'd found a lot of people, specifically at the Pro 2 rank, were just sitting on volume. There were millions of dollars of compensation going to Pro 2s that have done nothing for the longest time and not contributing to the growth of our company. And we went in and we fixed that problem, okay? Very fairly fixed the problem. And so be aware. I don't want anybody to say I didn't know. Be aware that that's there, okay? And if you have any questions, get with your uplines, and you guys can talk about some specific things with the comp plan, but know that that's happening. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the physique challenge. Guys, this is huge. I'm in. I took some measurements of my belly today. Not exactly what I wanted to see, but it's for real. It's there. I will say I strategically did some loading in Mexico. Like in Phoenix, we stopped at Red Robin and ate cheeseburgers and cookies and all kinds of stuff before we got on the plane. So, I'm out to win it, in it to win it. So anyway, everybody should be participating in this thing, guys. Everybody. Because Even if you don't get the 25 grand, I bet if you lose a bunch of weight, start feeling better, I bet your signal goes up. I bet your friends are going to want to know what you're doing. And guys, this is the easy win that a lot of network marketing companies only have. See, we have this flagship product called Protandim that is a monster. It's a monster of a product. No one else in network marketing has it. So what do? They go to some of these deals that would be show me type stuff, right? You hear a lot of people say, well, I want to see it or feel it. That's what the Physique 90-day transformation is. It's a see it story. Network marketing is about creating stories. If I drop, well, my goal, I'm going to tell you right now, I weigh 212 pounds. And my weight doesn't fluctuate a lot. I'm just, my dad gave me a big bone structure and I carry weight, right? So 212 is what I am. My goal is 199. I had said 200, but forget that. I want to see a 1 on the scale, okay? 199. I don't know what my body fat is. I'm getting that tomorrow, but I want that in the low teens, if not 12. I'd love to see that. That's my goal. And if I get there, that's going to be a story people are going to see and comment. That's going to be an easy conversation. That's an easy win. Guys, there are network marketing companies out there that sell handbags that you put your initials on, and they did $800 million because it's simple and easy. If you are not taking the Physique Challenge, you are taking the hard road, period. Okay? Now, the difference between us and a lot of these other companies is we have the real science behind our flagship products. Because believe me, everything works better in your body if you take Protandim. Okay? So get on the Physique Challenge. Take the before pictures. You don't have to show the world if you don't want, okay? But take them. Because when you lose the weight, you're going to wish you took them, all right? Because that's the story. Sending those pictures out is the story. Best case scenario, get with a gym or get with a personal trainer that can help you get all the requirements necessary to be a part of the challenge. Fred, actually, in the pool, we were giving Justin a hard time in Mexico saying, hey, why don't corporate do it? Well, lo and behold, today on Facebook, corporate does this video. They're putting some serious numbers out. They're talking about losing 40 and 50 pounds, some of them. So take the challenge. And on next month's webinar, the product is going to be focused. The product section of this webinar is going to be focused on physique, okay? Because that probiotic is amazing. And all the elements of it are amazing. You just don't know enough about it. I bet you guys right now, 95% of you, including me, don't know all the ingredients of all the products in Physique. And until you know what those, I know why the probiotic is hard to swallow. I do. But if you don't know why it's that shape and people say, why is it so hard to swallow? You're in trouble. I know why. It's that way for a reason. And because I know why, I have no problem making sure I get that in my body every day. Okay, it's a little bit more difficult than some tablets are, but there's a reason it's that way. Okay, your belief is everything. It's everything. Okay, so we'll be talking a little bit more about that as we move forward. The last thing I'm going to encourage you guys to do from an accountability standpoint is to go on the website. I'm going to share my screen. This is the last thing we're going to do tonight. I'm going to share my screen now. Many of you guys are not using the accountability and leadership development, I minimized the wrong thing, form that Lynette and I actually put together for the company. And you guys need to start using this thing because it will help you. Let's see if this is the right one. Here it is. So this is my back office, okay, in the library. So the library is found under communications. You just go down here and click library. I'm already in it. Go over here to tools, click on tools, and the very first PDF you see is accountability and leadership. A lot of you are not using this, and you should. You see, I know exactly how many presentations I did in November and December because I've got them right here on my desk. I know who I did them with. I know who was on the calls. Guys, you need to do this. This is as or more important than the book a month deal. This is the gas gauge, guys. Download this thing and use it. Stop guessing. And your team starts using this thing and it becomes fire in your organization. Put the trainings in, okay? And then know how to fill out this leadership grid. We'll talk more about that on next month's webinar. But guys, if you don't know how to use this, get with your upline. I just showed you where it's at. Don't ask anybody where it's at. Go watch the webinar again. I just showed you where it's at. Download this thing and start filling it out, guys, because this is absolutely instrumental in you guys growing your business. And that is having accountability to yourself and your team in growing your organization. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Let me come out of the share button and back to our main screen here. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this thing tonight. I wish we would have had a little bit more time. I think we've gone long enough. But keep in mind, guys, the Hawaii incentive. These trips are unbelievable. They make a massive difference. In fact, we'll have some people that went to Cancun on the February webinar, but you guys need to be busting your butts now to get to Hawaii, and it's attainable. It's very, very attainable to get to Hawaii, more so than ever before. And as a True Blue group, we're going to be doing some of our own stuff. I'm super excited. We don't have enough details or information for me to put it out there yet, but there is going to be some destination events for this organization that I'm excited about. It's going to be open to everyone. There will be some special things we're going to do for certain ranks, as well as some training for some regional trainings going on for some of our leaders around the country that we're going to be participating in. We're elevating True Blue's game this year in a big way because this is the year. This is the year, guys. I am full gas. I'm super excited for what we have. I know now more than ever what makes these things grow and what does not. And what makes it grow, my final words to you guys tonight is this. When you have the blinders on and you are laser focused and you eliminate negativity and distractions and you absolutely understand what you have at this opportunity, you win the conversations. And I'll leave it with this illustration. I explained this to a few elite distributors in Cancun. I'm a parent, okay? Obviously, my wife's a parent. There is no one more qualified on earth to take care of my two kids than my wife and I. You can't debate me on that. You will lose because they're my kids. I know them better than you do. When you get to that point with this opportunity, when you know without a doubt that you know the LifeVantage opportunity and its products and everything about it, from the corporate staff to the patents, when you know it all better than the person you're talking to, you win the conversation. We need to start winning more conversations. You see, the only way you lose that conversation is if I become an absentee parent. If I stop taking care of my kids, if I'm not around my kids and someone else is raising my kids, well, then maybe I don't know my kids as well. Don't be an absentee distributor, guys. All in. Dive in. Know it better than anybody else. And if you do that, you're going to realize the opportunity you have at LifeVantage. You see, that's where I'm at. Some of the information I wished I could share, but I can't because we're on non-disclosure agreements with the company. When all that stuff was going on a few months ago with the audit, I knew it was bogus. I knew it was junk, but I couldn't say. I knew what was going to happen because I have put myself in a position to know. You do the same. Dive in, know it all, and win every conversation, and your organization will explode because your mind will be in the right spot. Your energy will be in the right spot. You eliminate negativity and you focus on moving forward. That's attractive to your team and your organization. That's what True Blue is going to be about. I won't tolerate anything else. I don't want to hear it because this is the biggest opportunity in network marketing And it's up to you and me to make it happen. It's simple as that. We're running. I want to run with you guys. I want to see massive rank advancements this year. We're going to have a lot of fun with this challenge. And we're going to be looking good in April for sure, all of us. And we're going to be different ranks in April. So with that, guys.
Hey, Brandon, can you hear me?
Oh, book. What's the book?
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Was that what you were going to say, Fred?
That's it.
Man.
Awesome webinar.
Almost signed off without the book. Thank you, guys. Right here. Okay. There's an abridged version and there's a thicker version. Your first year in network marketing.
Good
A
book.
lot of you guys have read it. Read it again. Okay. Read it again because it addresses some of the biggest issues in network marketing. All right. Now, the guy that wrote this book's no longer alive. Okay. He's deceased. I don't know why I said that other than the fact that I got to know a little bit about him. He actually worked with some of our executives at Nu Skin. And this book's a lot about, well, it just says on the very first page here, overcoming your fears. Is that a little bit about network marketing? Overcoming your fears, experience success, and achieve your dreams. That's what this book's about. The book was written in the 80s. So let me just tell you that some of the stuff in this book is outdated, like comp plan type stuff. Okay, we just have comp plans today that blow this type stuff out of the water because of software. But there's a lot of things in here that are so big. And I chose this book specifically because of the time of the year we're in. We are in the enrolling phase of network marketing. And we've got a bunch of new people that are going to be coming in that need to know what to expect in their first year in network marketing. Okay, it's a phenomenal book. I've read it through a couple times. I've got it highlighted. So go read this book, guys. It will prepare you and your distributors for what they are going to be a part of. Okay, now we're going to mix in some of the classics too, right? Like Fred was talking about How to Win Friends and Influence People. That's a great book. The Compound Effect. Those are classics. We're going to be integrating some of that in back and forth. But that's the book we're going to go with. If you've read it already, read it again. This does not replace Pro Audios or anything else LifeVantage is putting out. It's just the stuff that you're doing in between, okay? So thank you, guys. Thank you, Fred and Jessica, for jumping in and saving me there. I almost dropped the ball. I would have if it wouldn't have been for you guys. That's team. Thank you. You guys have a good night.